Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the grand finals, the spring playoffs, and currently it is Gambit leading 2-1 over Fnatic, who will take game 4, or will we see a 5th matchup? That's the question. Will it go all the way in this series?
I like it when it goes all the way.
You do like it when it goes all the way, and well, the rest of you guys at home would certainly like to see many, many matches between these guys, because clearly there's plenty of you tuning in to watch this epic. So, what do you guys think at home, though, in terms of voting? We've been looking, of course, over at eSports. You can get on there, esports.com. Go on towards the match and the finals and vote who you think will win it. Currently, it's very, very close, but it's actually swinging a little bit in towards Gambit's favor now.
For the first time today, Gambit lead the public poll as to who is going to win, and who figures they're 2-1 up. 51.45% of you feel like Gambit will win, while 48.55% of you think that Fnatic will win. So the first time that it's swapped, we started out the day with a 55 to 45% in favor of Fnatic, and you know, mental drain is going to start setting in. This is the 4th game of a possible 5, and you know, we've seen the players just in between there, and you can feel the energy levels, they're a little bit lower. The fatigue starts to set in. These have been some very, very tense games, and it's about to continue.
There have been some pretty long games as well. Yep. They've all been 40-plus minutes. So these have been 3 very long games, very mentally draining, like you mentioned, mentally and physically draining, in fact, because, you know, obviously they're in a spotlight environment in a studio. It's not exactly the comfiest position, and everybody that plays at home, you know, you're in a comfy bedroom setup that you've been playing with non-stop. These guys are pushed into a position on a studio. They've got these camera, you can see it's going across their faces. It is a tense position, and you know, a lot of these guys, of course, they're veterans, they're used to it, they've been here for the last 10, 11 weeks, but now, when the money's on the line, the pride is at stake, that's when the pressure really starts to tell. Obviously, Gambit, they've been in that situation many times. Fnatic, they've been in many finals as well, and you know, the experience is a big factor. The question is, who's got the most experience? I wouldn't be able to split it. Fnatic Season 1 champions, Moscow 5, Gambit, whatever you'd like to call them these days, they've been around for a long time in a lot of top tournaments, but picks and bans is what's coming in, and we do have a little bit of a change around. Leona, Nasus, and Twisted Fate. Gambit resorting back to the first 2 games. Thresh and Shen being the bans by Fnatic.
Zach, Kar, Zix, and Zed. It's going to be one of those 3 for the final ban, and I believe the other 2 will be picked up. We have not seen a Zach yet in this grand final. This is possibly the last game. This is 2 more victory matches that, you know, Gambit have a chance to win one of them and claim that final spot, and it's going to be Zed banned.
Which means Zach's going to get picked. Is it going to be 100%, or will he get let through? No, of course it's going to get picked.
So there we go. Zach picked up. He was
not been locked in just yet.
Picked or banned in every single game, just locked in there, and Diamond Prox was terrifying on him once we got to the mid-game. So if Diamond has got a little bit more comfortable and can find some more rhythm with those elastic slingshots, he may be able to channel that, you know, rubbery goodness and actually pick up kills earlier than he did in the previous games.
Flubbery, rubbery goodness.
That's it. That's
what he's got. So Fnatic, Elise has been left available to them, as has Kha'Zix or Zed. Which way will they move this? The question is, of course, we've seen Soaz playing Zed. We've seen Alex Hitch playing Zed. If it's available, he will pick it.
What about Jarvan as well? That's another possibility for Fnatic. We've seen them first picking a couple of times before, so we'll see what they do decide to prioritize in this matchup. If they decide to lock in the Elise, they're denying it from their opponents as well as securing it in for themselves.
And that does mean that we may see Diamond Prox on Jarvan the 4th, which means it will actually be Darian on Zach.
Yeah, exactly, which would be very good to see. It'll be the first time that we'll see this team running it in the top lane if this Jarvan gets locked in. As we said, Volibear still available. Nautilus as well. We haven't seen him this particular series yet, but we're not 100% sure what the jungler is going to be for Fnatic, especially if Jarvan does get taken away. So if that is locked in, we'll have to see what Fnatic decide to fall back on as far as their jungle pick is concerned.
Commander Alex Hitch is giving out the instructions to his team, and they obey, and it's going to be Varus that gets selected. And it does mean that the AD carry is going to be changing. Normally Misfortune for Gambit's Genja, but this time around he's not going to be able to get it. And what will Yellowstar pick? He was hovering over that Vayne before and didn't go with it. Instead chose something different.
I'm still not 100% comfortable with this pick because of the range that Zach has to initiate with his bouncing ability. Then you've got Jarvan that can lock him down, and then you've got Varus that can lock it down. If it gets picked in, Fnatic must have been practicing Vayne a lot to feel comfortable with that pick. I wouldn't be surprised to see it with some protection, maybe a Lulu. I keep saying Kayle because it is a good protection pick. I want to know what Alex is going to run in his mid laner. Is he going to feel that Ahri is a counter to Kha'Zix and run a role reversal of what we've seen from game 2, I think it was?
Or he could go Zed versus Kha'Zix. Actually, tell he's been banned.
Banned out, yeah.
So he couldn't. It'd be tricky, but it'd be against the rules.
So what I do like about this right now, if this Janna does get locked in, this is what I was talking about during game 2, where I was saying the counter initiation is great. You had this team where Gambit could throw themselves in, and Fnatic were looking for a defensive support which could knock all of the opponents away, and they're going to find it in the form of Janna. Janna plus Kog'Maw is a very, very difficult bully lane. Great range and great damage from that Eye of the Storm.
I am unsure about picking Kog'Maw when there's a Jarvan on the team.
No, I agree with you entirely. It's the same mistakes as Vayne. Exactly the same thing. There's no escapes, and if you are out of position once, or if you face check a Tribush at 55 minutes and give away Baron, it's mistakes you cannot get away from. It's a very risky pick, but if it works well. Think back to Evil Geniuses versus SK game 3.
Worked very well for them. Of course, this is the first Janna we've seen in the Grand Finals. We haven't seen too much of Janna really the entire season, but it's a champion N-rated has run before many, many times in the past. It's nothing going to be alien to the entire team. We do see Edward discussing right now with his team what they're going to go with, and of course the final pick for Genja as well. It is going to be Malphite once again, so Alex Each will be running that Malphite mid.
Yeah, probably with the flash teleport like we've seen. He actually went 1v2 yesterday with that particular setup, managed to do so well with it. So we'll see if that does happen to be the case. I know that about a month or 2 months ago in the higher echelons of the rank queues, there was actually AP mid Jannas that was super ultra popular.
Yep.
And it's something we have seen from time to time. It's not a particularly common pick, but, just throwing it out there as a thought. Not going to be, but if we don't see a jungle locked in now, it's going to be jungle Elise or jungle Kha'Zix.
I think it's going to be Peke on Kha'Zix, Soaz will be on Elise, so it's going to be actually the jungler we're waiting for from Cyanide. And it does look like it may well be Volibear. Nasus has been banned quite consistently in this game, and yet when... All 4? I'm sure he was available in one of them games.
No, you are correct. Game 3 wasn't banned. Was not banned in the previous matchup. Yeah. Completely slipped through the cracks. Nobody wanted to play it. Instead, deciding to run a jungle Eve. I still remember we were talking about that, and we were like, well, we didn't expect that at all. Completely threw us for a loop. So, Volibear pick. You've got a very, very, very tanky team from Gambit. And if Kog'Maw gets fed, that Bioarcane Barrage is going to destroy them. It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. Job done.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they've got a lot of tools to engage with Gambit here, as opposed to the last match where they didn't really have a great engage unless they kind of came in from every angle, and it worked well for them. This time around, they've got Malphite that could be ulting in there. Yeah, we'll wait to see whether that stays.
We'll see who swaps.
Alex is picking Zach up right now and switching Will Malphite. We'll see whether that switches back just before the timer's run down. Diamond Prox, he can join him, jump in with the Cataclysm. We can have the Slingshot in there as well. There's a lot of engagements. And of course, don't forget when they're all in there, Wild Growth bouncing everybody in the air. You could just not touch the ground.
So this is something that we talked about so much, and how effective it was for Fnatic against...
It's staying.
For Fnatic that worked so well is all the knockups. You cannot reduce the effectiveness of a knockup. So Malphite knockup, Jarvan knockup, Lulu knockup, Zac knockup. It's the hardest form of CC in the game at the moment, and they have got tons of it. On the other side, you do have a lot of mobility. You've got Volibear that's going to be able to run around. Elise and Kha'Zix can hop. Janna can interrupt them. And this is actually very, very key. Pay very close attention to N-Rated's Howling Gales, because he's going to be able to interrupt some of these hops and these skips. And, with the knockback of Monsoon, a lot of pressure will be on him to control, the tempo of these team fights.
This is an interesting potential counter that Alex has pulled out here. Could he go the tanky route that we saw Soaz going yesterday on Zac in this mid lane, or will he go full AP?
It's going to depend on the laning phase. It's going to depend on how well he does, how well he can CS, and whether or not he can get some early kills. I imagine he's going to build tanky plus some ability power, the likes of a Sunfire Cape, an Abyssal Scepter, maybe a Liandry's down the line. It'll give you, give you some armor, some MR, some health. That would be my anticipation. The one thing I do like about this composition, though, is that Malphite is a great anti-carry. He's going to be able to, if he gets in range of Kog'Maw, shut him down so hard with that ground slam. So, you know, going to be a lot of onus on Yellowstar to avoid being collapsed on.
So here we go. We're about to get underway, and well, this could be an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. Gambit Gaming, they are 2-1 up over Fnatic so far in this best-of-5 Spring Playoffs Grand Final. And we do now see, for the first time in the LCS for Europe, Zach in the mid lane. And, well, he's 100% banned or picked so far in this Grand Finals. And I think it's probably around about 90% across the entire playoff period.
Yeah, really a lot of focus has been on this brand new champion, and we've seen him now in the third role over the course of the last couple of days. We also seen Soaz as Elise, which is very, very impressive, to be honest. He managed to get a lot of ability power. They were running a double AD comp, and that little one's missing means Yellowstar's a little safe, but that standard will reveal him, and he'll just back away.
He's going to back away. The ward goes down. Yellowstar's not going to, quote, get the reset, and he's not going to be able to take down that ward. So, 30 seconds until minions spawn. The voice comes out, and we will see how it works out. As it is a warning ping on top of Cyanide's head, which means no real counters. Remember, look to act to the third, fourth place playoff. Evil Geniuses and SK, it was all about the level 1 fights. Neither of this team want to do anything.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to highlight how, how different they are, complete polar opposites, that we had all, level 1 aggression in both of those matchups, and this has just been about vision and about understanding where your opponents are. We've actually seen some tactical play and some tactical movements around with some steals involved, but no actual, champion on champion action. It does look like we're going to have those lane swaps right now, and Alex is going to the bottom lane.
Alex is going to the top lane.
Alex,
I think we're going to see
Darian, this is me. Yeah. Darian on Malphite is going to the bottom lane.
But it's actually going to be a 2v2.
Well, at the moment it's jungler and solo laner, but we'll see how it pans out. The junglers will eventually go on their own little missions, but yes, this is going to confuse me, because Alex Malphite is what I fell in love with, and now it's going to be Darian.
But Alex on Zach, he's going to try and get the blue buff away. Soaz is going to come in, try and steal it away. He does manage to get it. Will he pay for it with his life here? Yes, he will. They need to give it to Alex. He hasn't got Slingshot. He can't go across, so Edward's just going to have to try and take the kill. But Janna comes around, N-rated with the shield, and that was a hit and run from Soaz. Fantastic start.
So well played, and that's going to put Alex on the back foot so incredibly well. He's going to have to deal with that top lane, losing a lot of HP, but it's not over.
N-rated caught out by Diamond Prox, and there's going to be the Glitzer Lance. Hail of Arrows comes in, and the kill comes down. It's Diamond Prox that takes it with that red buff.
Just completely popping Janna and unable to save her life, but Soaz does have that blue buff, and we'll see whether or not he can bully that top lane. He had a very good matchup yesterday, and we'll see whether or not he can do the same. Kha'Zix against Malphite. Now we see Cyanide actually with the fight.
This is non-stop action already. Just 3 minutes gone into this game. Now it's going to be a 3-on-3 in towards the jungle. Alex Ich does launch himself, but it's Yellowstar picking the kill up on Edward. And the cocoon lands on towards Alex Ich. Genja, though, joins the party. Now they're getting on towards Cyanide. The Hail of Arrows comes down. Yellowstar's taking a lot of damage. N-Rated's going to join the party as well, and everybody's going to have to back away, but they're going to get surely flipped by Cyanide. The cocoon lands once again, and it's Soaz that sinks in his fangs and picks up the kill. Now they're on towards Alex Ich. Cyanide trying to get the flip on him, but he has to run away from that one. And now there's a 3-man Fnatic in the mid lane. Just 3 minutes, 30 seconds in. Darian teleports to the bottom lane. And I think that's the end of all of that.
D-Man, they're trying to kill you right now, but up in that jungle, Fnatic get away with barely any life. 3 of them getting away, and look at this, it's a fight.
Darian's going to go for this. He's got a giant creep wave. There should be enough. The minions are going to hit on towards him. Has he got enough to finish it off? He just needs to get one shot. He flashes through and lands it. And Darian takes down Peke in the bottom lane.
2-2, but Cyanide is here. The bear wants to squash the rock. Is Darian going to be able to get away? Because it looks like Cyanide's given up. Look at the positioning for Enraged. He's about to run into Lulu.
He's about to run into Lulu. Edward was trying to shut him off there, but N-Rated was in preparation, and that is very much a drive-by from Darian. Managed to flash through, but of course flash burn, teleports burn, summoner spells all across the board. It's 2-2, just 4 minutes into this 4th game.
I retract my previous statement about level 1 engagements not being exciting. It was the level 2s where everything was planned for. All planned from these teams and craziness. But what I love about it is it's not one team making it all exciting and stamping an authority on the game. It was back and forth, and Gambit bounced back brilliantly. Yellow Star has returned to lane with that kill and another Doran's Blade, and with the damage from either Storm is going to put a lot of DPS
Yeah,
down.
just look at the items all across the board, because everyone was getting kills, assists. We're seeing double Doran's Blade and that brilliant Fortitude pot that Yellow Stars had very early on. The damage between these AD carries is going to be very strong just 5 minutes into this game.
Yeah, and we'll see how well it affects them, because, of course, both carries have the ability to shield one another and poke very well. And we'll see how that matchup plays out. Importantly, Soaz has picked up a KG's lucky pick very, very early on. So that's a GP10 that's going to be doing a lot of work the longer this game goes. And Darian's caught Peke.
Tower hit on towards Peke there. Darian chose not to follow up on that one, though. That was an interesting one. I thought maybe you could have landed the shard through and just won the reset and kept on pushing, but they've got no vision of where Cyanide is.
No flash, no ignite, and Peke could have leapt away. So I think Darian made the smart decision to CS and not lose any creeps, chasing a kill that he was never really going to guarantee. What we do see, though, is the bear is coming down to give a little bear hug to Darian's Malphite, and whether or not it'll work out. But take a look at this. You can see Kha'Zix about to meet Champion, but it's a fight in the top lane instead.
Fight in the top lane, Soaz repels away from that one. Meanwhile, Cyanide, he's going to come around the side there. Diamond Proc, sorry, he's going to chase on towards him as well in this bottom lane. They are going to catch on. Darian's going to get taken very low. Peke could drop as well. We're going to see Diamond Procs pursuing towards there. Surely going to pick up the kill. Yes, they will. 1-for-1 trade. Now in towards the mid lane. Yellow Star's going to get caught out as well. Edward's going to try and push on towards him, but Yellow Star does force him away. If I could only get his name right.
Cyanide's going to carry on chasing. Rolling Thunder will be up shortly. His frenzy's available. He may tower dive, but instead doesn't. And the craziness continues. There are fights in every single lane, every single minute, and it is not looking like it's going to stop.
Choosing to back away from this one. So 3-3 currently the kills, and again Hail of Arrows comes on towards Yellow Star, taken very, very low in that engagement, and now it's going to be Gambit. They're pushing up on towards that turret. Hail of Arrows will be back off cooldown in a moment, and Yellow Star may well eat another volley from that one. Meanwhile, in this top lane, Alex Ich, he's going to get taken low by Soaz. Soaz does back away from that one, though. Alex Ich, he's starting to boss out that top lane as well, as he thumps his chest and backs away. He's got a 10 CS difference, but that's going to get equalized by Soaz as he leaves the lane.
Yeah, exactly. In addition to that, the KG's lucky pick will be doing a lot of work to even out that gold difference as well. But the pressure's not over. Yellow Star's just taking a lot of poke there from that Genja and Edward combination in this mid lane.
And there's that Hail of Arrows landing once again on Yellow Star. The red buff was used to save his life earlier on, and it seems to be doing a pretty fantastic job of doing just that. So, let's take stock of the situation. Blue buff about to spawn. We see Peke. He's going to be gifted across this one. And you do see the flip from Cyanide there, throwing that blue in the air. And it's going to be now a blue buffed up Kha'Zix in that bottom lane. He's going to get the Void Spikes evolving in just a few moments. He's at level 5. He will be hitting 6 in just a minute. And that, it may well cause a few problems with Darian, but Darian is doing a fantastic job in this bottom lane.
Double the CS, and he's completely shutting Expected down early, but that is what Malphite does against these sort of assassin, AD bruisers. And Cyanide's joined the party, but there's a ward in that bush, so Darian's not going to overcommit himself to this fight, no matter how tasty that blue buff bug looks like. At the moment, Peke is just going to do the best that he can to do some damage control and try to bring himself back into the matchup. You can see that Diamond Prox's Jarvan is up in the top lane, stealing away those double golems. We'll see whether or not they decide to dive. There's the possibility of a successful dive if they can land that Let's Bounce ultimate, plus a knockup from Diamond.
Yeah, this is probably one of the first times we've seen a straight Darian versus Peke lane from level 1. Just 8.5 minutes gone into this game. 300 gold separating the teams, and actually that's 500 now. It's just bounced up. Look, it's 400 again. They're just going to keep me on my toes the whole time, damn them. But they're going to keep, obviously, getting gold as they go. And now they're actually fighting for those wraiths. We do see Diamond getting that one. But Yellow Star, the Cataclysm turnaround from Diamond. He's going to keep him completely locked up. He is on his own. Turns him into a cupcake. Can they get the finishing kill? Edward goes in, puts the Ignite down. Barrier there. But N-Rated saves the day with a Howling Gale. And now Cyanide's the focus of target. Genja comes in there, slides through. Cyanide gets taken down. The exhaust on Diamond Proc.
Here comes Soaz.
The repel comes in. Soaz comes in, sinks his fans. He actually went on Edward. Uses the Ignite, very nicely done. Can he get the double kill? No! Because Alex Ich comes in, Chain of Corruption comes out from Genji. He catches on towards N-Rated. Bouncing in there. Can he get the kill? He gets the interrupt. One more hit, but the barrier comes out. And Alex Ich, well, doesn't quite pick up the kill. 2 for 1 there. Everything being blown and everything being thrown into this game.
Absolutely crazy action right now. Enrated being very brave, sticking around, using that Howling Gale to try and clear out this wave as best as possible. Yellowstar took a very, very long time to use that barrier and that flash once that fight began. And yes, he got away with his life, but my word was he cutting that one close. The flash forward from Cyanide, and here's Genja.
Howling Gale unflipped. The tower manages to come through, and Genja's taking very low. They're not going to pursue this one through the race, though. And instead, he does walk away. 3 members of Fnatic looking like they want to go for Dragon.
I cannot get over the aggression out of these two teams. It's just been in-your-face action since the get-go. We're averaging close to 1 kill per minute, and as the Dragon hits 10 minutes on the clock, Fnatic decide to start this one out. But Malphite's unstoppable force is available, and Darian, he may decide to throw this one down. Here's the engage.
He slides in, catches on towards Cyanide. He's going to get taken down. It's going to be Diamondprox that picked up the kill. Unstoppable force on towards Yellowstar. Gets straight away blown back by Monsoon, but they leap back in. That's going to be a double kill for Darian as he goes down to Peke. Now it's going to be Peke taken low. Enrated is going to get dropped. The shard comes in. Darian picks up that kill. And now Edward tries a little bit of poke towards Peke and realizes can't quite take down one of these champions. It's 3 for 1 to Gambit.
3 for 1, and Fnatic should never have picked that fight. Yellowstar got dunked on by another Cataclysm. He had no flash, he had no barrier, and all the shields and heals in the world from Janna were not enough to save him. So a 3 for 1 exchange. Dragon is still alive, but advantage Gambit for the time being.
As it stands, it is very, very close. 2,000 gold, as you mentioned, advantage Gambit. Can they go 3-1 in this series and end it as the LCS whole season has shown? It went 3-1 to Gambit across the board. Will they equalize that score and prove that Gambit are, one and all, the #1 team in Europe? Or will Fnatic upset the trend that Gambit have been so used to over all the Intel Extreme Masters, all the tournaments that they play, and they normally get the upper hand over Fnatic, but this time around, it may not be the case, and Gambit looking strong right now. Enrated, he's been all over the place so far. He comes down to give a little bit of comfort hugs to Peke.
He's going to have to give a lot of comfort hugs to Peke because he's very behind at the moment. He's a couple levels behind, as well as all the pressure that he's taking here from Darian in this mid lane, or bottom lane rather. What we've seen from an earlier matchup was that Peke felt that Ari was a good counter to Kha'Zix and made it work. In this particular game, Gambit feel that Malphite is a good counter to Kha'Zix, and boy are they making it work. We do see the lanes returning to some form of normality. For the first time in a very long time, we can take stock of what has happened. In terms of itemization, there's nothing too exciting happening. We do see Genja has picked up a pickaxe as well as that Vamp Scepter. We do see a Hextech Revolver being picked up by Alex, so he's going AP.
And Rated using that Howling Gale quickly to knock back Diamondprox. He almost got slid in on that. And you may have heard my excited...
You pulled a Trevor. You pulled a Trevor as far as the squeaks go. Soaz is going to find Alex, going to land the cocoon and jump on him.
Oh my word, the damage that just came out from Soaz. He's very low on mana though, but he can be able to sink his fangs in. Remember, he's going to get caught down, but unfortunately the passive isn't going to be enough. Soaz has got to get very aggressive on this. The turret dive, the teleport comes in. Soaz has been caught too deep from this one, and Alex Inch, would you believe it, picks up the kill. I don't even think Darian needed to be there.
No, Darian, he arrived just at the time that Elise died. But take a look at this. Cyanide's found Diamond.
Cyanide's found Diamond. They know that obviously the top lane is not there. Peke comes in. There's going to be straight Cataclysm. Actually blocks out Peke. Peke now comes in, gets a chunk of Diamond. But we're going to see down the bottom there, Chain of Corruption just landed. Peke does pick up the kill, but it's going to be Yellowstar. The barrier, is it going to be enough? The Monsoon comes out from Enrated and saves him brilliantly. And another Howling Gale thrown backwards keeps Gambit away from their AD carry.
This time round, the heals and the shields were enough to save his life, and Yellowstar walks away, but he was out of position. It's not over.
Unstoppable Force comes in and pretty much roadkill Yellowstar.
And we take a look at that. Genja stops to look at the exploding Cogmore, and it turns out cool kids do look at explosions. Xpec is trying to take this blue buff away. Edward's just going to run some interference.
Edward tries to come in and steal it, but it may well be his life that he loses, because Peke with that blood buff, and you see Edward actually taunting Peke there.
Soaz is jumping on Alex, but Alex is bouncing away.
He's going to bounce away from that one, and wow. This is just kills across the map. We're actually past 1 kill a minute right now. Both these teams, they are out for blood. It's 10-6, and it's Gambit with the advantage.
This game is bedlam right now. In terms of items, a very interesting pickup has just been secured though by Alex. He decided to go for the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, going for that selfish spell vamp item, and obviously going to try and get as much lifesteal back as possible. For those that haven't seen, that percentage HP damage, as well as your ultimate in team fights, gives you so much life back. Because it's percentage HP, it's a lot of base damage, and that heals a lot. 2 versus 2 in this bottom lane, and here's the fight.
Both junglers are in there. It's going to be Diamond Prox jumping in. Peke jumps back in there. That's going to be Darian going down, and now Diamond has to flash away from this one. Have they got enough to chase it through? No, but that is another kill, and it's Fnatic this time that pick it up, and it's just a 1,000 gold difference between the two.
After all of this excitement and drama, Peke finds himself 4-2. He's going to leap forward to get those Void Spikes down onto Diamond Prox and immediately back away. 10-7 is the kills. It's 1,500 gold difference at the 15-minute mark, and for the second time, Fnatic are going to start the Dragon. The last time this happened, it almost killed Julie. Let's see if Gambit are going to engage and try to suffocate you once more.
It does look like Fnatic are going to pick this gold lead up as Diamond Prox tries to sneak in there. It's not going to happen. No, Genja gets kept away by Soaz. They're going to chase on towards Diamond Prox. They do get the slowdown. The Howling Gale gets dodged out, but is it going to be the death of Diamond Prox? Yes, no, he jumps back in Cataclysm, but the turret wasn't quite close enough to hit him. He just mistimed it ever so slightly. But here comes Alex Ich. He's going to bounce around. Cyanide gets down on all fours and pauses him away. And it's going to be the Howling Gale from Enrated that forces him back. Look at the gold, ladies and gentlemen. It's just 100 between them. And Fnatic are shoving down the mid lane.
They haven't stopped the pressure. They pick a fight after fight after fight. The same token, Gambit are now trying to put pressure on this bottom lane. But you have to feel that Kog'Maw is going to destroy a tower quicker than what a Malphite and a Zac will. But they will trade tower for tower. That is the first towers of the game going down.
Still 100 gold between these two teams. Very, very tight here. And a complete change from the first 16 minutes of the last match. That is for damn sure right now.
What do you mean the last match of the last 3 matches, Lee? We haven't seen this much excitement at all in the series. But with so much on the line, the pressure has been turned up. And the teams, they're responding in kind. They are reacting as if this is the only game that matters.
Let's look across the items across the teams as well. So as got that Morella Nomicon on along with the Haunting guys. There's actually the game is getting speeded up because of the pace of the kills. Everybody is buying those items much earlier.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that we'll see how it pans out. Right now, though, Gambit, they've grouped up in this mid lane. They're going to take this down. Peke is around on the side, needs to be very, very careful. In terms of initiation power, they're just going to rely on Kha'Zix and Volibear to dive in there. There's no subtlety to this engagement composition from Fnatic. If someone gets caught by a Howling Gale, or if the Bear and the Bug think they can pick up a kill, they're just throwing themselves at it.
They're going to launch themselves at it. We do see Alex return into that top lane. So there may finally be a moment to breathe here and take stock of the situation. Darian and Peke, they've been butting heads in this bottom lane a number of times. Peke has actually evolved his wings now, so he will be able to pounce around Darian, and he can just pretty much a cocoon. Does go on towards Alex Ich. He's going to get all flubbery straight on Soaz, though. Soaz does repel away. He goes straight towards the minions. He knew it was going to be one of them. Diamond Prox comes in. Hasn't got Cataclysm. Now he does. He manages to catch on. Soaz is going to go down, but it's going to be Yellowstar coming in. He's going to take down Alex Ich, and he does manage to pop him. The passive was not available, and now it's going to be Diamond Prox in all sorts of trouble. Can he slide away in time? The slow comes out. The red buff doing his job, and Diamond Prox gets flipped back in by Cyanide. Yellowstar picks up another kill in the top lane. What a game!
Flipping hell, D-Man. That's a 2-for-1 exchange for Fnatic. Thank goodness Yellowstar was there with that red buff. Now they're going to apply the pressure on this top lane turret. Try to even it out at 2-2. Gambit, however, have responded in kind. They see the mid lane. They are barreling down there with that mid-inner turret in mind. We'll see whether or not they can pick it up.
This is going to be a turret for an outer turret, for an inner turret possibly here. You can see they're going to keep on pushing on there, and they're going to maybe get a lot of damage down. Nobody really close enough to react to this one. Soaz is coming, and Gambit actually backing away because they know that Peke is starting to make a move up there, get spotted out by the wards, and that actually buys a bit of time for Darian to clear that bottom wave. Look at the gold still. 600 between the two, 11-10 in terms of kills, and 2 turrets apiece.
In terms of itemization as well, the Blade of the Ruin King has just been finished off for Yellowstar's Kog'Maw, so that's going to be a very, very vital item in these team fights. Going to be able to use the active to help kite away from Jarvan, away from Zac, and away from Malphite. So I really, really like that item pickup. We still haven't seen Alex Ich upgrading his tier 2 boots. I'd like to see whether he goes Sorcerer's Shoes or Merc Treads for some additional survivability, but it looks like the question is answered. He is going full AP. He's got the Spell Vamp, and now he's got some penetration.
We'll see what he does with that. 5-2-0 though for Peke. He's the one that needs the kills, and he got the kills on Kha'Zix. This game is actually falling into Fnatic's hands the way the kills are flying. LCS clears out the wards over at the Baron. They can't surely be thinking of that one already. So we're 2 minutes to go before the Dragon spawns, and I think I just need to take a moment.
I think we can both take a moment here, because my heart is racing at the pace of this game. 20 minutes on, 21 kills in the game, 2 turrets to 2. We've seen 1 Dragon going down, and it's just been, you know, all these skirmishes all over the map. We actually haven't seen a straight-up team fight that's, you know, been even numbers on even. Peke is about to run into Darian here, and Darian with that Sunfire cape will be able to bully him around, but he doesn't quite have that burst potential to squash the bug beneath his boot.
So, Darian has actually been doing a pretty damn good job in this bottom lane against Peke, honestly. Kind of a good counter towards Kha'Zix, it seems, and for once, he hasn't been having a singular problem in the lane. He's got that Sunfire cape down, and he's starting to farm out very well. He's actually out-farming Peke, but the fact that Peke does have those 5 kills is obviously giving him that slight gold advantage. Yellowstar, he's starting to become a bit of a beast on Kog'Maw here. He's picked up a couple of kills. We saw him in the top lane when he shredded down LCS and Diamond Procs, and that could well be a major headache for Genja.
So I would love to see some attack speed coming out of Kog'Maw as his next item. Something like a Phantom Dancer, Static Shift, something along those lines. Or wait for this Soaz, he's got the Cocoon.
The Repel goes in, the Cocoon lands, and Edward has to use the shield on himself there, but the hail of arrows from Genja does manage to keep them back. But, well, Fnatic, they have a 4-man group up 26 seconds before that Dragon spawns. They're ready and waiting to go, but they may lose that top turret to LCS.
So we'll see how quickly he can get it down. Fnatic are trying to respond, and the way Soaz is building right now, those Cocoons plus the damage follows up as more like a kaboom, and here comes Peke on Darian.
They're going on towards him. You can see Yellowstar, he's running across towards him. He's going to try and catch him down with a slow. The Void Ooze does just catch the tail end of Darian there, and you can see now it's going to be Diamond Procs sliding in on Yellowstar. The rest of his team not with him though, and they are going to force the battle, but it is going to be the Dragon spawning. LCS is backing off. They may well be able to get here just in time.
Darian has teleport available though, so if he recalls and heals up, he could join the party and knock everybody up with an unstoppable force. I was trying to say Yellowstar should prioritize attack speed, because with the shield that Janet can put down, that'll give him plus 50 attack damage. It's a very important item. Right now, Gambit, they're split. 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. Dragon's down, and here come Fnatic.
Oh, and Diamond gets a little bit slowed off there. Peke jumps back in there. The rest of the team are coming down the river as well, but it's Diamond Procs they do manage to single out, and Gambit have to back away from this one. Fnatic starting to bully them a little.
All of a sudden, Fnatic are the ones that are split up. Yellowstar got turned into a munchkin.
He does manage to get caught down there. Chain of Corruption comes out and lands perfectly. LCS bouncing around all over the place. That means Yellowstar's down. Look at Darian though. He's low in the bottom lane. They're going to come around. Elastic Sling Stock straight towards N-Rated, but misses this time around. It's going to be Soaz that they chase on though. He's been singled out in the bottom lane. Peke's coming in the backside of Genja, and Edward is the word I'm looking for. It's not quite Jedward. Elastic Slingshot comes out and got interrupted, and that's going to be the slow coming out as well from N-Rated. Edward manages to repel away. Soaz is going to catch on towards him. LCS is caught out. He's not going to be flubbery enough here. He's going to get chased down. Cyanide's on all fours. There he is. His passive goes down, and he's going to get destroyed. It is a 1-for-1 right now, and Fnatic and Gambit are really going at it here. Just 600 gold separates the teams after 23 minutes.
Yellowstar cannot afford to get caught out like that again. At the end of the day, they do trade 1-for-1, but that was very, very sloppy. Initially, Gambit were out of position. Fnatic chased them down. Then Fnatic got out of position, and they were split down the middle by Gambit, and that was what cost them. Look how scared Genja is. He flashes over the wall to prevent being caught out by members of Fnatic. Everybody's just throwing themselves at one another the entire time. It's like a mosh pit in League of Legends.
It's a mosh pit that I'm enjoying being in. I'm throwing my elbows high, and I'm catching everyone down. It is going to be Edward that's catching on towards those wards, though. Wards deaths, that's just a thing of the past right now, because it's all about kills. We're just about keeping up 1 kill per minute right now in this game. Let's hope it goes to a 50-minute match.
Yeah, teams, they're not CSing here. They're champion killing. That's what this is about. And as long as this keeps up, I'll be honest, if we go to a 50-minute match, we may die. Someone get the reviving paddles. What are they called? Damn it, words are lost. Nevertheless, 12-11 in kills. 1,000 gold separates these teams. Fnatic for the first time pulling ever so slightly ahead.
Well, if it keeps on going at this rate, I may have to start stripping off, frankly, because it's getting pretty damn warm in here right now. as the tension mounts, and Gambit,
not again.
They are 2-1 up in this one, of course. Remember, this game, if they win it, they will take the $50,000 prize and, more importantly, be the #1 team in EU. And as it stands, Fnatic, they are fighting for survival. Can they take it to the 5th game of the series, or will Alex Ich and his crew be able to cause them heartache?
Well, we'll see as the game goes on, as Enrated gets caught out a little bit there by Darian's Malphite. He's picked himself up a Haunting, guys. Going to start working towards some additional ability power and get even more damage into this equation. And in terms of damage threats, you have 4 damage threats per team. Lulu and Janna are going to be full utility support monsters. Darian is going to find himself a spider, and look how quickly that tower is getting shredded.
But immediately it is going to be Darian coming down and playing defensive duty. I don't remember the last time Darian's tower stood so long in a game, or maybe I'm just getting absolutely thrown here. The cocoon does go down, and Soaz turns it straight aggressive onto Darian, and you saw his hit points just melt away.
So this time around, Soaz makes the right decision when it comes to fighting under a tower. He gave away his life earlier in the matchup. This time around, realized he could put the damage, cocoon him up, and kill the tower. If Darian stuck around, he had the potential to pick up a kill, but Darian wisely backs away. At the moment, it is 3 towers to 3. The gold is pulling ever so slightly ahead for Fnatic, but that is going to change at any moment because these team fights break out all the damn time.
And the blue buff going to be taken by Genja this time around. So we'll see how much that works out. It's Chains of Corruption, you know, for all the talk we did about Chain of Corruption, it's been working really well in this whole for grand final. Some absolute epic catches with that ultimate.
Yeah, it's a game-changing ability because of how quickly it can spread to your opponents, especially when comboed with other CC. The slow from Lulu, the knockups from Zac, etc., etc. It's just going to lock down those squishy carries of Elise, of Kha'Zix, and of Kog'Maw in place. So, once again, Yellowstar is going to make sure he cannot get caught out. It happened to him earlier around that dragon fight that happened a couple minutes ago. We'll see whether or not he can be correctly positioned for the next time they fight.
So, let's take stock. Let's look across the board. We do see level 15 for Darian, Soaz is very much nearly there. Peke and Alex Ich, they're both at 15s. The junglers are at 12 and 13 close together. It's actually the AD carriers that fell behind in levels as well. Of course, the supports, they're always going to be behind, but it's normally the AD carries you'd see off the side farming, but they've simply not had time in this game.
They weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
They did not get permission to pass go and collect 200.
There was no lane phase in this game.
No, they weren't allowed to pass go and collect 200 CS because it's just non-stop action. We went straight from level 2 to mid-game team fights, and that's what it's been the entire time. Now that all the towers are down, the reason the game has slowed down is because it's too risky to go that deep into your opponent's lane. So it's allowed the teams to start picking up some additional CS, to start getting some life back. And a very, very big pickup has happened for Alex. It's a Spirit Visage on Zac. I talked about how important and how great the heals are from Spellvamp and percentage HP damage. That now gets amplified by that passive of Spirit Visage, increasing all healing and regenerative effects. If they don't kill Alex or focus him with an Ignite in that Morella Nomicon, he's just going to keep healing over and over and over.
Well, we do see if we have a slowdown finally in this game, as is almost expected, because frankly I don't think they could keep up that pace, and probably nor could I. It does seem though that Diamond Proxy still doesn't want to let them have that Wraith. He's going to try and poke it. Look at Peke, he's just holding it there. It's like, come at me. Come a little bit closer. You know you have to hit it so Peke can finish it with the Void Spikes.
All right, so Dragon has just spawned. Neither team has vision on it right now, but they both will have the timers. So you can anticipate another fight. Look at the pings. Both teams pinging in and around that middle lane and the river. Darian is set up, poised to engage with that unstoppable force. And if they get the right target, they might be able to just insta-pop somebody. If Fnatic want to challenge, they need to go quickly. And where's the decision going to come in? Do they want to start this fight? They would be doing it blind, and that is always going to be a problem.
Yeah, the Dragon's going to go down before they get a chance to. The question is, will they engage? Of course, there's a great deal of initiations for Gambit, so anyone at any time could launch in towards them. And this time, Fnatic choose wisely and back away. 1,000 gold between the teams, 28 minutes gone.
A moment of indecision cost Fnatic either the team fight or the Dragon. They simply were too slow to react, and that all stems from the fact that there's no vision. Neither team has had a chance to actually, properly ward and properly set up for these things. It's just go now or don't go. That's all there is at the moment. 2 speeds.
Alex Ich, meanwhile, in the top lane. It's always fun to see Zac, because the player just looks like they're having so much fun on it, because you just see him launching into a giant creep wave and just like swallowing all his ooze around, and picking up all of that lovely gold, and that's exactly what Alex has just done in that top wave. What's he going to go back and buy? Look at the gold across the board. It's pretty close, but the junglers, that's where the difference is for Gambit. They have an advantage there. Cyanide falling behind Diamond Prox, but Peke as well. He's picking up all those kills, of course, which is going to give him that 1,500 gold advantage currently over Darian, who's effectively the mid laner, will Malphite.
And really interesting stats talking about the junglers, both of them being involved in 9 kills. However, it's 9 assists for Cyanide, 4 kills, 5 assists for Diamond Prox. And it's something we've said about Cyanide over and over and over. It just seems in Fnatic that Cyanide very seldom gets all those kills. It almost always goes to his carries. And when you consider that Kha'Zix has 6 of his team's 11 kills, it's a very, very important statistic.
Oh, the support of N-Rated looking maybe. Oh, throws the Howling Gale out. Clever use, and the Baron's going to turn around and attack Edward there. Just pops his shield, that's all it did, and nearly went in towards that bush. It is a ward-clearing mission from both teams here, and a battle of the oracles, as it were. There's the Howling Gale going once a crane across, and poking back and forward. And Edward once again takes another ward down, and N-Rated manages to put in there.
I imagine N-Rated's probably got some more charges on that Ruby Sightstone.
Yep, another one.
Put another one down. We will most likely see in Edward coming back. He's just spotted it. There's the Howling Gale charged up. Edward will probably take one more Baron hit, and it's just this ward battle, but they've caught out Diamond Prox.
They have, but he turns back in, flips in towards there. Is he going to be able to get away from this one? Chain of Corruption lands on towards Cyanide, and Alex Ich is bouncing in there. Unstoppable force catches on Yellowstar. He gets melted. N-Rated uses the Monsoon, but he's going to get dropped and consumed by Alex Ich. There's going to be Soaz. He tries to repel away, but he's caught out. That's a 3-for-0 for Gambit, and a fantastic initiation.
Alex Ich turned a smudge into a kill and squashed N-Rated completely. 3-for-0. That is arguably one of the best champion baits I think I've ever seen. Maybe intentional, maybe not, but the reaction from Gambit was perfect. They pick up those kills, and now they jump onto Baron. With all of the percentage damage that they can do, it's so, so important for them.
Fnatic are going to try and take an advantage from this one. They're pushing down on towards the inner turret, and I'm not too sure whether they're going to be able to escape quick enough here. They're not going to be able to take the turret down. Here comes Edward. Can he land that glitter lance? Yes, he caught on towards Cyanide. The rest of the team are collapsing down the river. The Void Spikes don't land on Edward. Has got flash available. He's not going to go for it, though. Instead, they do continue to pursue. Look at Diamond. He's heading down the river. Alex is following. They are having a complete dragnet slowly settling down here. Edward's going to walk into 3 members, finds Cyanide, gets the glitter lance down. Hail of arrows comes in from Genja. Genja's just off to the side. He's going to land all of that damage. Has it bought time for Peke? He just saw immediately Edward's like, you are not getting away. He's run straight towards him. He's got to check the bushes, though, and it looks like Peke may get away in time. No! The flash from Edward comes in. The glitter lance goes down. He turns it around, and it's Alex Ich and Genja that are going to do the damage. He jumps away from this one. Uses his ultimate. Goes invisible for a short period of time. Throws out the Void Spikes. You can see Alex is trying to get in there, but in comes Diamond Prox to slam dunk and finish and pick up the bonus gold. It was a very long, drawn-out ace.
Even the running away is exciting. What on earth are we watching? Right now, though, Baron was picked up, and that is the most important part. Fnatic managed to use, what, maybe a minute, 40 seconds of that Baron just on a chase, just pulling them away. The never-ending chase to catch them, but 2 more kills, and now we see 1,100 gold in favor of Gambit. More importantly, though, the Baron buff, the stats, and the regen. And look at Darian, he's not afraid of Fnatic.
Fantastic, fantastic game here. And Gambit looking like they may well take an advantage. They're going to take down the inner turret in the mid lane. Howling Gale's going to just put a small delay on that one. But Soaz is split pushing. He's on the inner turret, which means this inhibitor turret is going to be exposed. It's going to be a 4v5, and they're going to keep the pressure on towards it. Ultimates are going to be available. Unstoppable forces there. Soaz is backing off. They realize they are losing this one out, but they're tanking it up. Peke comes in, Chain of Corruption gets fired out there. Genja does manage to get caught, N-Rated gets taken down. Hail of Arrows goes in, Unstoppable Force. Yellowstar is completely melted off the map. And there's a let's bounce coming out from Alex Ich as he picks up the double kill. The turret's still not gone down. Soaz tries to come around the backside. Peke jumps back in, and Genja's taken incredibly low. Can they get back around? He's going to have the leap available in just a moment. The shield goes on towards him. There's the volley going in there. Darian's taking low now. Cyanode's going to come in towards him. Soaz repels in, picks up the kill, and Gambit are forced to back away from this one. It's 2-1.
The tower is alive. They threw everything at them and saved the tower. Fnatic managing to hold on, but Yellowstar just got squashed. He was deleted from the damage that Gambit put down. And with no escape mechanisms, no flash, no barrier, there's nothing that he can do from the bouncing and the unstoppable force that's coming down from Gambit. 19 to 12. Now, a 2,000 gold lead, but very, very, very crucially, that tower still stands.
Such a tight, close game. You can tell it's a grand final, ladies and gentlemen, because we are having an epic 19-12 in kills, just 2,000 gold, splitting them 4-3 in turrets, and the Dragon has respawned, and this time Fnatic are going there, and that's going to close that gold lead just that little bit more as they pick it up, and that will take it to just 1,000 gold between them. Or will Alexic go aggressive? No.
So
good choice.
At the moment, look at the itemization from Soaz. He's picked himself up a needlessly large rod. His neurotoxin is currently only dealing 17% of a target's current health. So as an initiation in terms of damage, that is a very, very big number that's going to be chunking down his opponents. And there isn't the greatest amount of magic resistance on the side of Gambit. They do have some here and there, but you know, for the most part, that's pretty good. In conjunction with that, Leandra's Torment's going to be ticking over. Muramana has just been completed for Peke, so he's going to be dealing a lot more damage as well. And at the moment, it's just action city here in the grand final.
Blue buff Steel, where they think of tanking up this side turret, I'm not too sure. Diamondprox, he's pretty tanky now. They are going to go in towards it. They do have the damage. Genja is not there, though. Instead, he's clearing out the way. They're like, guys, I'm tanking it. Oh, wait, you're not here. Where's that pesky AD carry got to?
Yeah, a little bit of maybe miscommunication. Genja doing what Genja does best. You know, sitting alone in a lane, picking up CS once you hit the mid-game. But he is 4-1-10. Last Whisper, Bloodthirster, Guardian Angel completed, and now 5 members of Gambit are set up. Keep very close eyes on Alex's positions. He is going to stretch those arms to the max and launch himself at members of Fnatic. If they group up too tightly, this bouncing is going to hurt a lot.
He's absolutely ready to go, but he's stood on top of a ward, and Yellow Star pretty much shows him that. We do see Diamondprox getting flipped in there. That's going to be the wild growth, and Alexic does launch himself in. He's bouncing around all of Fnatic. Can he pick up more kills? It is actually a very close fight. Chain of Corruption does land on Cyanide. Diamondprox goes in. Cataclysm is still available. Alexic launches himself back in again, and still no death for either team because Guardian Angel on Genja. Ooh. Cocoon comes out there, but doesn't quite land from Soaz, and Gambit forced to back away, but they picked up a turret.
Just missing out on that Cocoon. If it had caught Genja, they would have potentially jumped in on that, but a lot of abilities used, and more importantly, Flash and Barrier is down for Yellow Star. So if they jump in again in the next couple of minutes, they will be able to take Cogmore out, and he is so crucial to getting through those tanks. With that Biocan Barrage, they've caught out Darian.
They've caught out Darian. Peke tries to jump in, but the voice spikes don't land, and it may well turn against them. Soaz is repelled away. Where's he going to go towards? He's going to come back down. Alexic exhausted, and the Monsoon just about saving Soaz there. And you can see now Genja, he's going in towards Peke, but Peke jumps back in. Wild Growth comes out there. Alexic tries to bounce in towards him, but he gets taken down. His passive's going to be poked. Are they going to be able to save him though? One more hit, one more thing goes down. Peke manages to pick that kill up. Diamondprox, he jumps on Soaz. He takes him down. He gets flipped back in there by Cyanide, who slides away from this one, but Peke is going to continue chasing. He's going to get one more void spike, but does not land. And Fnatic chase down and go 2-1 in that engagement. 37 minutes gone into this game. We've had 34 kills, and it's still just 1,000 gold separating the two.
45 seconds on the clock before Baron gets up. Look at both of these teams going to be resetting. I wish the analysis desk the best of luck breaking this game down, because my word, it has not stopped. Very, very importantly, Genja still has his Guardian Angel available. So if a team fight breaks out, they are going to be in one another's faces and relying on him to respawn. Let's take a moment to catch our breaths and get ready for this next fight, because it is going to be a big one.
And let's just take a look. Well, we've got 15 seconds before Baron spawns. To Alexic's build, it's very different from anything else we've seen so far on Zach. I say that it's semi-similar, yeah, currently to what Soaz built when he was top lane.
I want to see where the Giant's Belt goes. I'd love to see it become a Rylai's Crystal Scepter, and then, of course, the Liandry's, and that be the 6th item. I'm hoping that's what it is, and it'll work so well. Not only is he going to have the knockups, but magic damage and the slow will work well. Darian has played aggressive. He snuck into the bush, and the last time Fnatic took the bait of fighting Diamondprox, it cost them that fight and the Baron. wisely, Fnatic back away from that particular setup.
The back between N-Rated and Edward is non-stop at that Baron. Every time N-Rated comes back, places a wall, throws a Howling Gale, Edward takes another chunk from that Baron, and this time he does finally take it down. Peke jumps in, lands the Void Spikes across a number of members. It's going to be the Cocoon landing as Darian has taken a lot of damage, and he hasn't got really much magic resist. The only magic resist source stacked on him is simply from the Abyssal Scepter that he's got, and of course the Runic Bulwark, but you just see the amount of damage that Soaz is putting out, it's hurting.
And that's just one combo, it takes a third of his life away. Now take a look at Gambit, they've set themselves up, they have vision here in the bush, and they have such great initiation power. They are going to set up here. Fnatic may get jumped on, and this could be the fight that determines the inhibitor. There goes Diamond Prox, immediately backs away. Monsoon was available for N-Rated if you wanted to throw them, throw them back. And Fnatic, they'll be happy to stall out because Yellowstar still does not have Flash. When they have Flash up, I expect Fnatic to pick a fight.
Peke clears a giant wave in that top, and that's going to give him a big chunk more gold, and he's very, very strong. But looking across the board, we do see a Black Cleaver being picked up by Diamond Prox in the jungle. So a lot of damage now going to come out from that jungler. Peke continues to wipe out those waves with the Void Spikes. He's got a ton of damage, but he got to get in the fight at the right time. Guardian Angels, well, no surprise there. It's on Genja.
And not only was the Black Cleaver picked up by Jarvan, we see the Banshee's Veil completed by Yellowstar. So in terms of his itemization, he feels that the magic resist and the spell blocking is going to be more important than coming back to life. You don't tend to see more than one defensive item on an AD carry, so we'll see whether or not Yellowstar is going to feel the same. And we'll see how this match pans out. Vision wards are down. Going to clear out this Baron once again. Fnatic are going to respond as quickly as possible because the percentage DPS from Gambit will be able to take the Baron down very, very quickly.
Someone somewhere needs to do a ward count between Edward and N-Rated, because frankly that ward in the back of the Baron has gone down so many times. N-Rated persistently keeps on putting it back in there. And meanwhile Gambit, they have got the advantage. Of course, Baron did turn and attack Alexich just a little bit because of that Sunfire cape. Again, Soaz trying to catch someone out. That's generally how the fights have been beginning. The Cocoon from Soaz is the starter.
Yeah, that's the initiation tool. Now, Fnatic, you'll see with that very big wave on the bottom lane, they're playing a bit more aggressively. And as soon as you see Darian revealing his hand, they may actually go in there. We do need to talk about how well Peke has pulled himself back into this matchup. He was fairly far behind in the early game, but now he's got a 100 CS lead over Darian, who is his lane opponent. And the Dragon just gets melted. I mean, that didn't last more than 5 seconds.
Yeah, but for a short period of time, Fnatic had that gold lead, and Gambit now back in the lead, despite the fact they have got 5-3 into it, and they have 20 to 14 in kills. Of course, it does mean that Fnatic are doing a fantastic job of keeping those waves cleared. Look at the TS. You can see the leaders really are Peke and Soaz. They've both passed 300. Nobody on Gambit so far have got to that 300 mark.
I genuinely don't believe we've seen any game that's been this chaotic, but this stable in terms of the CS, in terms of the gold, and in terms of just keeping up with one another. Whenever you tend to see all these chaotic team fights going back and forth, one team generally pulls ahead and then maintains that lead. Fnatic have seen an opportunity, they stacked up, but they don't have N-Rated with them. N-Rated's going to step over this ward, and we may see an engagement Gambit. There, they've caught out N-Rated.
We're going to see the teleport coming out from Darian as well. He's coming towards that mid lane. It's not N-Rated they want, it's the rest of the team, and they're going to launch in towards Cyanide, but they don't go full-on engaged just yet. No ultimates have been burnt, and the Chain of Corruption lands on towards Cyanide. Now he's the target. Now they turn around for it, but Fnatic are actually in a pretty good position. That's a very good Sonya's Hourglass, but Cataclysm goes on towards Yellowstar. If they can keep Yellowstar safe at the back of this, Fnatic are looking good. Monsoon comes down. Cyanide gets burned. Gambit turned the damage on his Edward that picks up the kill. Peke is going to get focused and exhausted. He jumps onto Darian, gets the reset, jumps away. Diamond Prox taken very, very low. And the rest of Fnatic are trying to run for their lives. They're going to have to chase down Peke, but he is running. Oh, and Alexich can leap it in, but he gets the jump again. The Void Spikes land on towards Alexich. Soaz throws the Cocoon out, and it lands. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Peke's got away. It's a 1-for-1 so far between these two, and they are continuing to chase.
I have never in my life seen team fights like this. Fnatic were outnumbered. That was a 5 versus 4. They were on the wrong side of the river. They were in Gambit's territory. Not only did they pick up a kill on the way out, they only lost one. Great play from both of these teams, and gold is within touching distance. There is a 100 gold difference between these teams. There's a ward that differentiates them, and this is Enrated just giving them to Edward. That's the only difference between these teams.
There's been a lot of wards separated between them, and look at the gold across the board. Clearly, Peke is the main damage dealer for Fnatic right now, and he has been causing them problems. You can see he's at 8-3-1. He is all about the damage. There's no defense on there.
And how on earth did he get away in the jungle? He managed to pick up the kill there onto Darian or be involved in it, then instantly leap to the side. Alex's stretching strike, the Q, was just millimeters behind him. If it had hit, it would have slowed him down. My God, is this the 4th time they've done this ward battle? They're still at it. This is a mini game between them, I'm sure. But yeah, Peke gets away with his life from that engagement, and everything just resets. Baron is still up, and we still haven't seen a fight for it.
Well, I did say we hope we see a 50-minute game, and we may well just get that. Soaz is going to keep on chasing on towards Diamond. He sidesteps the Cocoon, though, so he's not going to be able to take that one down, but he is getting so much more damage as these fights progress. He's going to become a serious thorn in Gambit's side.
And don't forget, this is the grand final for the LCS Spring Playoffs. If Gambit pick up this win, they will be your grand final winners. First place in the Spring Seed. And if you're not watching with your friends and your estranged ex-wife, get them now because this is an epic 21-15. Fnatic are 6 kills behind, but they are keeping up thanks to some fantastic CS.
I think you missed out your mother, your brother, and your ex-lover right there.
Awesome rhyme. That was a good one. Gambit have started off on Baron. There is vision around, and we'll see. Take a look at the positioning for Diamond Prox. He's forced to escape with that combo.
So tense this game, so tense. They're both looking to see if they can get the perfect initiation. We saw it layered very well by Gambit in the previous fights, but they've not been able to do it. Fnatic have wised up to their tricks, and they've been just avoiding all of the damage. The repels, the Zhonya's Hourglass from Soaz, the jump aways from Peke, and the jump back engages, the Monsoons, the Howling Gales. Everything has been working for Fnatic to just keep Gambit away from engaging, but they're going to siege down, and this is going to be the first inhibitor turret of the game.
And
if
they
can get one hit,
Peke
comes jumping in from the side. The Cocoon doesn't land this time around, though. It is so tense between them. And the gold, it's just 500. It keeps going back and forward, but honestly, really, anyone could win the next fight.
This is absolutely nothing separating these two teams. I do like the pickup of that Rylai's Crystal Scepter by Alexic. As we mentioned earlier on, he's going to be able to apply a slow while knocking up his opponents. 2 members of Fnatic are going to try jump in here on Diamond Prox. And as we've seen Peke jumping into that team fight, he's feeling a lot more brave because of the fact that he's got that Guardian Angel picked up. He's going to be able to revive, respawn, and re-attempt to kill his opponents.
Yeah, he sold off the Hex Drinker that he had on there and went for the Guardian Angel instead. Randy Omen and Zhonya's Hourglass also for Soaz as well, so he's suddenly got a tanky item for that next fight should he get caught out by Genja. Yellowstar, meanwhile, he's got that Banshee's Veil. He's had it for a while. He's trying to get that Zeal on as quick as possible. Actually, he's kind of split between them because he's got another BF sword in there. Soaz has gone aggressive. He's calling towards Genja. If they can pop his Guardian Angel, this will be a great win for them. And he does just as the Chain of Corruption came out. It did not take because he got taken down. And Genja has been sacrificed. And the question is now, Fnatic, they're going to turn straight for the Baron.
They feel the Baron is more important than anything else, and they wouldn't be able to siege a tower, really, because of the initiation power. Now, Gambit are going to have to do something to contest. If they trap them in and land all of their ultimates perfectly, they could actually take them down, but it doesn't look like they want to. They're going to give this one up. They feel that without Genja's damage, it's not going to be a fight that they want to pick. And instead, they decide to back away. So, Baron number 2 of the game goes to Fnatic, and all of a sudden, you have to tell, how do Fnatic pick a fight? How are they going to siege? They can't pick a team fight under a tower because of how much crowd control, how many knockups are in the side of Gambit.
And of course, don't forget that Guardian Angel is going to be down for a fairly long period of time as well, and Fnatic definitely going to be shoving on through, so Genja is not going to be safe in this next fight. They're going to take down this top inner turret as well as the middle are pushing straight for that inhibitor turret. Remember, the middle inhibitor turret Fnatic is very low. Diamond Prox feeling very aggressive here on Peke. Peke uses that ultimate, and he's going to jump away from this one. He's going to get caught by that shard, though. The slow comes in. Diamond's going to slide through. He forces the flash. Hasn't quite got the range for the Cataclysm.
And of course, Peke was stealthed up, so he managed to go through. The Cocoon just misses onto Edward, but look at the damage from that Neurotoxin and the Spiderling.
He does manage to take half the damage. Yellow Star, sorry, he was hitting on towards the inhibitor turret. That's taken down low as well. This is so tight between these teams. One fight could mean the base.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, with the amount of damage that both of these teams have, they will shred through towers and inhibitors. I'd love to see what the gold is between these two teams as we hit 70,000 apiece. Look at the numbers down the board. And interestingly enough, with Enrated, he's had those double GP10s ticking over for a while. He's sitting on 3,000 gold right now, and he's not all that much further ahead than Edward as well. So interesting spotting there on those GP10s. I want to see what Enrated thinks about them.
So suddenly 4,000 gold difference between them. You can check Enrated, but I'd go ask Crepo myself.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's been a dramatic game.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that you looked at him and said ask Enrated. It's just like, just put the guy down one day. The fact that he got third in the tournament. I mean, straight to his face is pretty much brutal. It's like a sledgehammer right to the face.
Not cool. Baron is up, and we'll see how much time is left, and it's about half of the duration. Fnatic are probably going to start to stack up and try push these lanes down. The inner turrets for both the top and the bottom lane are still standing, and we'll see if they want to siege it down. Soaz is going to try and get in range. May not be able to actually do it. And I think Cogmo stole the blue away. He did.
He managed to steal it away with the artillery. So he managed to snipe it down, and he's going to tank up the turret as well. So now it's a 5,000 gold swing straight to Fnatic. That is a very quick turnaround of events simply from that one catch on Genja and the Baron. They're going to follow them towards those twin shadows. It goes on towards Edward, and now they're going to start sieging on this top inhibitor turret.
Gambit are not going to take this one lightly. You may actually see them engage. They have a very good burst potential, and if Fnatic stack up, they will jump in, and you can tell as Fnatic decide to back away from that particular engagement. So right now, Fnatic, they still have this Baron up, and Cogmo is going to be able to out-DPS Varus. If they get in a duel with that living on the Biochem Barrage, it is going to be more effective than those double Bloodthirsters, but we'll see just how that plays out, because there is no escape for Yellow Star. If he gets caught, if he gets jumped on, he can get popped like a balloon.
Just 1 minute remains on the Baron buff, and they are trying to the best the siege through, but they're not really getting too many hits on towards it. In fact, I don't think they've got any hits on towards that turret so far, so Yellow Star not able to get quite close enough. They realize that one unstoppable force, one jump in there from Alex Ich will cause them all sorts of problems, no matter even if they have got that Baron buff. They do finally get some balls and going to shoot down that turret. They took half of the hit points off it. Alex Ich thought about getting the slingshot, did get seen, and didn't launch for it just yet. Half the hit points down on the turret. Will they continue on? There's a big creep wave on the bottom. They're going to take that inner turret down in the bottom lane.
Something else we haven't pointed out just yet, Enraged picked himself up the Zeke's Herald as well, giving the attack damage as well as that lifesteal to the rest of his teammates. So all of their statistics is definitely going to be helping out. Now we'll see how this particular siege goes on, and there's the slingshot!
There's Alex Ich, he jumps in, he's going to use Let's Bounce. Can he catch on towards them? The Banshee's Veil still yet to get popped, and he has to pop away from this one. Chain of Corruption came out, he did manage to shot them down, but they still haven't lost that inhibitor turret, and more importantly, the Baron buff has just run out for Fnatic.
Very importantly, that Let's Bounce didn't have the impact that it needed. Darian was waiting for a multi-man knockup before he used Unstoppable Force. It didn't happen, and that's why the rest of Gambit didn't follow up. Now, Fnatic have this window of opportunity where that ability is not available to them. The fact they don't have Baron anymore forces them to decide to back away and play this one a little bit more safely. But we are hitting like breaking point as far as items are concerned. That is a 6-item Alex. Leandri's has been completed at the end. We have a Black Cleaver Jarvan working towards that Randuin's Omen as well. And it's just everybody's hitting this. We cannot go further with our item stage.
The mental and physical drain on these players right now is we probably close in on about 4 hours, I would say, of this grand final been going on for a pretty much long time. We're up to 52 minutes once again. We had a 54-minute game just a moment ago, and I think we're getting close to a very, very long period of time that these guys have had to just go at the top of their game, slugging it back and forward. That may be why you saw a lot of kills at the start of this game, because maybe just their mental edge was not quite there, and they were just throwing kills back and forward, but it's fell in towards Fnatic's hands. You can see that 9-3-1 on Kazik's working well, and he's now got that third eye on top of his head. The Oracle's in there, but it is a 6,000 gold lead for Fnatic, but honestly, when you're looking at 72,000 to 78,000, that is not a giant stretch. 21,000 gold now on Peke. They've managed to pass that 20k mark. That's incredible.
There's a scary statistic. Peke has 25% of his team's gold, single-handedly. In his, wallet or his bank account that he has spent, is a quarter of his team's money. Now, we'll see this positioning. Soaz is thinking about going in. He's repelled forward. There's the Cocoon on Darius.
The Cocoon lands, but it's actually going to turn around. Chain of Corruption goes on towards Soaz as well. There's going to be the Voidus. Alex Hitch, meanwhile, he's gone on towards Peke, or has Peke gone on him? He's going to get hooked down there. There's going to be the collateral damage to try and catch on towards him. It's going to be Peke goes down. Cataclysm, of course, the one I meant, but it doesn't matter because it is all about collateral damage right now for Fnatic. They are managing to start picking up kills. 2 members of Gambit go down, and they're going to run straight through in that mid lane. Soaz caught by the glitter lance, but he's going to be able to get away from this one. Fnatic so low. Genja goes second down. He's going to get his Guardian Angels, but the Monsoon comes out from Enrated on the turret. Fantastic play from Enrated there, and we see Peke jumping towards Enrated. Finally, the first inhibitor turret, 53 minutes into this game goes down, and the inhibitor's going to drop. It's going to be Fnatic. We're going to have a game 4, surely. For game 5 even, I can't even count anymore. It's been that crazy. The Nexus turrets are going to get taken down here. It's Peke launching on towards them, and Fnatic close the net on towards Gambit. Peke picks up yet another kill. No! Tries to jump on towards Gedwood. It doesn't matter. The game is over, and Fnatic are going to take it to game 5.
Fnatic are going all the way. They are putting out, and they are putting Gambit down in the 4th game. It is 2-2. The series is tied up. Game 5, ladies and gentlemen. I hope we survive it.
What an absolute epic from the both teams there. And it's just, oh my word, I don't even know what words can describe that. So we're going to go over to the analysis desk because I am out of breath. Joe Miller, Jason Kaplan, and Scumbag Crepo are going to take you through that absolute thriller.
I think absolute thriller there is a bit of an understatement as well. Usually it will start off with break down the laning phase. There wasn't even a laning phase.
No laning
I mean,
phase
Crepo, that was just off the wall. Exactly what we wanted at this point of the day, you know, to tie us up at 2-2 and push us into a 5th match. But let's try and give it some structure from an analysis point of view and talk us through, I'm not going to call it the laning phase, but the early game.
People died. People died. I don't think you can even distribute it into phases anymore. The early game was so ridiculous. Kills back and forth. Everybody playing so super aggressive. At the start, I was giving it to Gambit. I thought, like, Fnatic, this is over. And then it's like, no, Fnatic has this. No, Gambit has this. Back and forth constantly. Like, everybody escaping, like, early game at, like, 5%, 10%. Shield going, flashing, Volibear, flips, counter ganks. Like, this game had everything you needed. But, yeah, magnificent. Awesome. I'm out of words, dude. Like, just awesome game.
Well, yeah, I'm in a similar position. We were like, well, how are we going to analyze this one? How are we going to pick a single replay out of this game? Because honestly, there were in those, how many minutes did we have? I'm getting 54 minutes, 22 seconds by the end. There were literally 50 replays in there, I think.
There's so many replays you could do, and it would be insulting. It would be insulting to if you just would choose one, but I think we got the one at the end fight.
So we're going to insult everyone, but we're going to take the final fight there.
Yeah.
At least we know we can get the best of both worlds with that one. So break us through this final fight and what happened, what went wrong for Gambit in the end.
Well, I think it was a game of catch, and like the later you get into this game, the more important it is when somebody gets caught out. Like earlier in the game, you had those Baron dances, and there's so many points you can still analyze. I still want to talk about like the way the Barons went down as well. If you looked at Enrated's build, for example, there was only like one side stone in there, and he did have those double GP10s, and in the end, it went into 2 amazing items. But I felt like mid-game, Gambit had all the control of the map. That's why they got the Dragons a few times. They got the Baron once as well. Fnatic was forced to face check a few times. They got away with it, but it was so close, and they got caught out every time. But I think Fnatic needed a little more wards mid-game, but they still somehow, every time you play against Fnatic, they managed to survive with almost no wards. Testament to that is like the crazy Expeke escape mid-game where he just hopped over a wall, Void Spike, Spellvamp hopped again, kept going, and just 1-for-1 trade. But in the end, Fnatic, I think, caught out one target from Gambit. Gambit almost turned it around. Then they caught Zac, and then they finished it off.
Well, I just want to touch on one thing before we actually get to that replay there. You talked about somehow survived, and that was the key point that we were always talking about in this one. Kog'Maw, you know, the rubbishish champion at surviving when you've got champions on the other team are going to go right in on top of you. Malphite, Zac, Jarvan. Talk us through how they kept him alive there.
Well, basically, if you play Kog'Maw, you have a AD carry, no gap closers, and he's like the biggest target for any nuke. And they had a Malphite and a Zac, which pretty much do the same role. So basically, what Yellow Star had to do was dance some maximum range, hope he could flash one of them, be out of range for the second one. Also why he bought the Banshee's Veil really early, because if he stayed at max range, people couldn't actually pop his Banshee's Veil, and he would try to use that to prevent the unstoppable force. At the end, you could see Gambit actually getting desperate. Alex using the slingshot in, trying to bounce on top of him to get the Banshee's pop, to allow the follow-up for the unstoppable force, but he still had flash, and Yellowstar had like at least 3 or 4 clutch flashes that game that really kept him in, and then it was invaded. If somehow he got caught, the Monsoon would fight reset, and at the same time, Elise was dealing percentile damage, Pekka was bouncing around and assassinating everybody. So much crazy fights, you can't even begin to like describe them because there was so much great play going on.
So let's finally get then into the replay here and have a look at that last fight here once again.
Yeah, we're just going to get the replay on your screen. I mean, it was the last fight. We don't even need to give it any kind of context. But Crepo, you can walk us through it and show us exactly what happens here. So we start off with Alex getting caught.
Yeah. Well, basically, it's actually in the mid lane. There was an engage, and there was counter-engaged by Gambit. But then, while that's all going on, Alex actually gets caught. And right when they kill him down, the fight's pretty much over. Like, they have enough time to kill the blobs. And Fnatic just keep going. Kog'Maw is being untouched at the moment, and that's the most important part.
I want to pause right here just to show you that Soaz actually broke off, because we're gonna touch back on him in a little bit, but he was just pushing them out in the backside. He kept Darien out of the fight, and he had his ultimate available.
Yeah, but that's what initially happened. I think they caught onto Darien. Darien went away.
Yeah, he got cocooned.
He got cocooned, but then there was a fed of the counter engaged by the unstoppable force. But meanwhile, then we panned over to Alex, who actually got caught on the side, because I think the fight started at the left side, but positioned right side. Pekka jumps out with his Guardian Angel still up. Diamond's almost going to drop as well. They keep chasing them down. I think Diamond ended up in the base. And then if we roll a little further, we see something beautiful by Fnatic. Like now, it seems like they get too greedy. Soaz in the base. Cyanide thinks, oh no, I have to run, I have to run, I have to run. And here's the call, no. Go for Genja, boom. And this is where it ends. This is pretty much where it's over.
He's dead.
Yeah, Volibear keeps tanking it for ages. They get him again. And that's just it. Game over.
Yeah, really nice performance there at the end. And carrying on statistically, apparently my choice of shirt today has brought fame and fortune to the red team.
As does it always.
As it always does, maybe. But all 4 games have been won by the red team, which, you know, predictions, that whole crystal ball prediction would be Gambit in the next game.
Well, true. It actually shows NA is ahead of the meta game because NA was first with the red side wins. Maybe they're happy to hear that. But yeah, actually, initially it was the Z side that won the game. Because all the games that with Z won it. But now it's actually the red side pulling through. I have no idea how. Maybe it's like the picking process. People don't really care as much about the OP champions, or there's just too many with the introduction of Zac. It's a very interesting phenomenon. I have no idea how these teams are battling the fatigue, because they've been playing 4 long games. There's not like this average 20-minute game.
I think we saw how they're battling it there was like, fight.
Let's just stop warding, stop mind games, just go head-to-head and rely on like instinct mechanics. But I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see what we come out with and who's going to get Zac, because I think Zac might decide the next game again, because it's such a strong force.
Are we going to see changes in bans, do you think?
I don't know. Fnatic, like, they struggled a little bit early, but they're like changing the ban pattern may have helped out for them. They're going to get blue side now, so generally that you'd reckon that's an upside, but you never know.
Some people might say it's the better side.
Yeah, some people.
Well, it has statistically in the European LCS been proven as the, up until today, of course, up until this best of 5 being the stronger team, so.
I don't know. I think it's going to depend on the early game, next game, on the lane swaps. Because initially we had swapping between top and bottom, but now there was a swap to mid where both teams ended up mid. I think Fnatic's a little smarter when it comes to that. Their champion pool is a little bigger, so they can force the lanes where they want it. And you saw that, I think, was it game 2 or 3, where they completely dominated the early game by forcing the right lanes. My money before this set was actually on Fnatic, because I think they have this little niche to them, this little unpredictability. So, yeah, we'll see.
Well, I'm not going to keep us here any longer. You guys can still vote for your winner over on lolesports.com, so make sure you get that in. Just a few minutes break we're going to take here, and then we'll be moving into the final set of this epic best of 5 between Fnatic and Gambit. Tell all your friends to tune in for this one, because it's going to be epic. Guys, don't go anywhere.